What's up, fantasy managers? This is the Fantasy Red Zone. We're going to talk about some news that happened over the weekend. We're going to evaluate some games that were played. We got 3 players that we singled out, and we're going to discuss their performances. If you like that, stick around for 7 seconds.
You can do
it! What's up, Zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard youth and Wilt, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy RZ, the Fantasy Red Zone. Today's episode, we're going to go over, this is a weekend wrap-up, week 1 weekend wrap-up. So I just had my waiver wire show come out yesterday morning. Go check that out. That has a lot of information on who I think you should pick up. Maybe some league winners, Jason, right? Some league winners.
Right.
Today we're going to be going over... Today we're going to be going over some of the games that we watch with our own 2 eyeballs. We are poor. So, we just have to grab those free government airwaves coming out of there on our antennas. Please, government, keep those airwaves going. That's the only way I can watch football. Anyways, Jason, before we get into all that, we are going to do news. Before we get into all that, I want you to tell the public how they can help this show.
Yes, if you guys made it this far, if you guys could please hit the subscribe, press the like. We like the likes. And leave some comments. Let us know if there's some people that you want us to go over or how we feel about their performance this past weekend. If you are into the radio, we're also on Spotify at the Fantasy Red Zone.
Thanks, Jason. And if you want to, if you're into building websites, check out the Fantasy Red Zone, or no, the fantasyrz.com. There you can give us some tips and hints.
Yeah, we'll do it for free.
JK, LOL. All right, getting into the news for yous. Jason, did you see Chiefs Chris Jones just ended his holdout? He signed a 1-year deal. I guess he took like a $1 million pay cut on that game check. So I'm sure he made up a bunch of that money. In the current situation, I think he was going to be the 9th highest paid defensive tackle, and that is where he was kind of getting upset about. I can understand that when you're Chris Jones. So how do you feel about that?
He's back.
Well, we saw the Chiefs defense. I mean, they were super young last year, and now this year they held Jared Goff in check, dude. Like, I really thought, even with that offensive line just getting all that push, Jared Goff and the Lions still did not look that great on offense. So I'm interested to see what this Chiefs defense looks like with Chris Jones added to it.
Yeah.
And then, Jason, I saw this, dude. This kind of pissed me off because I was thinking about picking up Kareem Hunt. I was thinking about adding him to my waiver wire show via comments since we're coming out with it earlier than everybody else. And Jason, Kareem Hunt, though, I was thinking might be going to the Ravens after J.K. Dobbins just popped his Achilles. I owned him. I didn't own him, not in real life. This isn't like whatever. Fantasy-wise, so they said they're going to be staying in-house to find their next running back. That's kind of disappointing because I don't like their house. I don't like the running backs in their house.
I don't like their house. No. Yeah. It's a very, very, very fine house.
I was just thinking, protect this house. Remember that? Was that a Gatorade or an Under Armour commercial?
Yeah. It was like basketball, right? We must protect this house.
Shit got me fucking
I don't know,
pumped, dude. I'd listen to that commercial and be like, shit, lock the doors.
Not even Gus Edwards, huh?
See, that's the funny thing. So Gus Edwards came in. We could talk about this later. I don't know if we're even talking about this game. Jason, are we talking about the Ravens?
I don't think so.
So Gus Edwards came in. They had Justice Hill first. And then he didn't do, he got those 2 touchdowns. And Justice Hill does look good, but he averaged like 1 yard a carry there. And then Gus Edwards came in, later and averaged 4 yards a carry. And dude, if you have been part of that carousel before, it's almost like New England when it's really shitty. It's like you do not know who's going to be getting the points there. I'm not really investing into any Ravens running back. I don't even know who to invest in, dude. If it was a super deep team, I'd probably pick up Justice Hill just to see. But just on Reddit, man, all the Ravens fans are like, Justice Hill ain't that guy, man. He ain't that guy. And so I don't know, dude.
What about Leonard Fournette? He's still out there.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. They need to sign somebody, but they're staying in-house apparently. So anyways, Jason, Kenneth Gainwell, he led the Eagles in snaps surprisingly. The Patriots defense held them in check like amazing. I'm going to be trying to pick them up if they're on your waiver wire, or if they're on your waiver wires, you should pick them up. But they are going against Miami, so might need to keep them on your bench one week. But look at what they did to the Eagles, man. That was a big surprise. He hurt his ribs, so we need to monitor that situation. There was really no report of his ribs getting hurt until today.
I did not know that. I mean, this was actually his first full-time game, right? Where he got this much runs and how many times he touches the ball.
Correct. So yeah, Kenneth Gainwell, dude, he got deep run. He got a lot of run in the playoffs last year. In the Super Bowl, he was awesome. And here we go, dude. Like usually that does not correlate to next season, like regular fantasy success, but it is. And if you can get Kenneth Gainwell, I would be all about that. He is on my waiver wire show if you want to look at that. Jason, Aaron Jones. There's no new news on his hamstring. I guess that's news. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. There is news. There's no news on his hamstring.
Yeah, there's news that there's no news on his hamstring.
Well, Matt LaFleur just came out and said that he's being evaluated still. So he did say that it got caught up, a little bit. Like it wasn't that bad. He said that he's hurt his hamstring a lot worse in the past. But if you give me an old ass running back who, relies on breakaway speed and like burst, sometimes with a hamstring injury, that's just super scary to me, Jason.
Any hamstring is pretty scary, especially for a running back, wide receiver. I mean, one of my wide receivers went down with a hamstring injury, and it's just so frustrating because, I immediately go and think of Keenan Allen of last year. It's like, all right, how much time is this guy going to miss?
Yeah, dude. And this, Jason, what was the year of last year? It was the year of the
hammies?
Concussion?
What? Oh, concussions. Okay.
And then I think the year before that was the year of the
hammies?
COVID? You're good, Jason. You're real good.
What is COVID?
And now what is this year, dude? You've been close. What is 2023 the year of?
The flu.
Fucking hamstrings, dog.
Oh, hamstrings. Gosh dang it.
So each year there seems to be a thing, man. Like concussions, COVID. Now we've got hamstrings going on. It's crazy how many people are suffering from hamstrings.
It's so frustrating.
Greg Dulcich, I almost called you Greg. I work with
Greg?
I work with the Greg. My middle name's Greg. Come on, man.
Greg.
Come on, Craig. Come on, Greg. Denver, you got Kool-Aid, but you ain't got no sugar. You got cereal, but you ain't got no milk. I don't know if he says peanut butter ain't got no jelly. Then that's when Big Worm comes out and he's like, "Give me my money, Craig.
Give me my money, Craig."
Dude, I'm not even drinking tonight. Maybe for better shows, I need to not drink.
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
I say that so much, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have money to play with. Apparently, I've got emotions. Jason, so Greg Dulcich, he was like, everybody's like, "Oh, what do you think about Greg Dulcich?" He was a surprise number 2 on the depth chart coming out because he was an awesome rookie last year, dude. Like he was blowing shit up. And then he hurt his leg, and I was going to get an MRI to see how severe it is. So that's not good. So I'm looking at I think it's not Troutman, dude. I just said his name. What the fuck?
Yeah,
is his name?
it's like something like that. Like
I think it is Troutman, but I work with a Troutman, so now I'm kind of confused. That tight end that is a veteran there, dude. He gets targets. I know that their offense looked pretty shitty right there, but I think that he's a tight end that you can pick up off of waivers and stream depending on the situation.
Are you gonna go look? Sorry, I didn't mean to go look.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I was scanning over the word "look" on ESPN, and I said, "You're gonna go look."
Oh, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Did I say something?"
Are you gonna go chase this guy on waivers if you need a tight end?
No, that Troutman, I almost did. It was I was talking to you. I really want to start Hayden Hurst, who you should go pick up, but it's got to be a pretty deep league, and I think it's gonna be later on in the year when just other tight ends are not doing. But dude, I have a stat here, Jason. Check this out.
Okay.
Of the top tight ends drafted: Kelsey out, Andrews out, Hawkinson 8 for 35 yards, Kittle 3 for 19 yards, Goddard zeros, Ingram 5 for 49, Waller 3 for 36. Pitts 2 for 44, Njoku 2 for 24, Higbee 3 for 49, Kmet 5 for 44, Freiermuth 1-3-1, Okonkwo 0 across the board. So, dude, shit's already going down. You cannot run from tight end. You can run from tight end wasteland, but you cannot hide from the tight end wasteland.
Yeah, what's the point of getting these wide receivers early if they're not even going to play, man?
Fucking assholes. And I wish, dude, Tyreek Hill was this close to falling to me, Jason.
Dude. Adam Troutman.
Thank you, Troutman. Is that what I said?
6'5", 253.
Wow, he's svelte. That's big, dude. Anyways, Colts, Anthony Richardson, Jason. I was watching that game. I was like, shit, dude, maybe I should start Anthony Richardson and trade Jalen Hurts. Not now because his value is low. Anyways, I saw him get hurt. I thought his knee got slid on. I watched it. It was like somebody came in from behind and like just rolled over like that back calf. It didn't look that bad, and apparently he could have came back if it really mattered. So that's great. And then lastly, we're almost there, Jason. Dobbins out. He's gonna have surgery this Friday. Who gives a fuck? Sorry, JK. You're getting paid way more than me. I best of luck in your career, dude, because I really like watching you play. Dude, when he plays, he's great.
Right.
Cordero Patterson, Jason, this should matter to you. You are a Tyler Algier and a Bijan owner. You got it all. We need to see. So he's on track to be playing in week 2. He's almost worth maybe a mild pickup to see if he's over Tyler Algier, but he wasn't. He was injured a lot last year. He was always over Tyler Algier when healthy. So if you're kind of looking at a super deep pickup, you might want to pick him up.
I'd be very surprised. I'd be very surprised if he's over Tyler Algier the way Tyler played in the last game.
I love Tyler Algier. I was like, I would love to trade you for him, but I can't pay the price after he just did that. So, okay, Jason. Lastly, this is the last one. No, we got 2 more. My bad. Jacoby Myers, Las Vegas Raiders. He got a concussion during that game. So after last year, the year of the concussion, I even told a guy because I was like, dude, I love Jacoby Myers in this offense. I should have maybe, looking back, Patrick Surtain actually did a better job on Devontae than he did last year. He could not contain Devontae last year. He did it this year, and knowing that now, I'd be like, oh, yeah, maybe Jacoby would get all the work. And now I'd be like, dude, start Jacoby with confidence in your flex spot. But, dude, guess what? He's probably going to be out a week. Coming off of last season, you could probably count Jacoby Myers off, the year of the concussion. Now they're being extra careful with that, Jason.
Dude, even with the concussion, man, I don't know if you saw it, but that guy was not letting go of that ball when he got hit. He was just there like...
I didn't get to see it, so...
It was crazy. He was like looking right at the camera. Coach, I think something's wrong.
God, dude. That's sad. But Jacoby Myers, he's a good pickup, dude, for that
touchdowns?
Team. Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
He's like such a good short yardage wide receiver.
He's the perfect wide receiver for Garoppolo's play style.
Fuck Garoppolo. I wish that they'd put a backup in. I'm a Devontae owner, so I didn't really like what I saw on Sunday. Jason, Mike Evans, after he actually did pretty well. I mean, he caught a touchdown, whatever. They came out and said that he's not going to be traded because it's been so hot after that Kansas City game about trying to get Mike Evans or some veteran wide receiver there. They came out and said he's not going to be traded.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have to stay a Bronco.
Mike Evans? No, he's stay a Buccaneer.
Buccaneer, yeah. He's going to have to stay a Buccaneer.
The last one, Jason. Mike Williams. I recommended to pick him because to start him because the Kellen Moore offense pushing the ball downfield, highest point total of the week. Guess what? That didn't really happen. But he did suffer a head injury during the first half of the game. Then he was kind of in and out the whole second half. So he only had 4 receptions for 45 yards, only targeted on 5 routes or whatever. Only targeted 5 times. He probably farted more than that, dude. If I was out there on that field with those pants, I'd be farting all over the place.
That's also a Mike Williams game too. He's going to have games like that where he's not going to produce a lot of numbers, especially now that you have the rookie Quentin Johnston playing. But Austin Eckler and the running game looked pretty damn good for the Chargers too.
Dude, he was one of my biggest things. That Kelly, because Joshua Kelly in the preseason was tearing shit up. And I was like, who the fuck is that guy? He looks like he got bulked up, got faster. He's like Latimer on the program. He's all he gained 30 pounds and the attitude to go with it. He's all shit.
Let him know he's getting tested next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Or who are they going against?
I don't know. That's just what they say in the program.
Okay. Oh, I thought they were going against the 49ers. I was like, no, that's the Rams, dog. All right, Jason. Who's your first person you want to talk about? Which game?
I wanted to talk about Deshaun Watson. I wanted to bring him up because he's a hot take going in this year. People think he's going to return back to glory, take the Browns to the promised land. So I wanted to watch the game. It was a bad game to watch because the weather was horrible. He was projected 17 points in ESPN. He finished with 20. He was 16 for 29. That's 55%. That's not good. He had 154 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He got sacked 3 times. He got hit 5 times. I would say, like, overall, Deshaun looked comfortable and safe in the pocket. You know, he is behind one of the best offensive lines in the league.
He was.
Yeah, I was going to say, he just lost his right tackle to an ACL, MCL tear.
Jeez, dude.
I was going to say he had a lot of time to throw the ball. He did show some glimpses of the Deshaun Watson in 2020 with his pinpoint accuracy. There were some times where he threw the ball, and it was crazy. Like, it was going over the defender and right behind him in, like, this pocket. And you're just like, dude, this is great. It's awesome. It was also super rainy. Just let me remember that, or let you guys remember that. It was super rainy. It was bad conditions. He also had some very piss poor throws. Like, he did look like he was still a little bit rusty. His INT that he throw would be the easiest INT that defensive back will ever have.
That's what I saw, and I was like, fuck Deshaun Watson, man.
Yeah.
I thought you would be better, dude. Like, this is the same shit. Then I looked at the stats, Jason. I'm like, 154 yards, and I saw that interception. Like, what the fuck? So it is promising that you're telling me this.
Yeah, you would think that the defensive back was a wide receiver for the team because he threw it right to him. It was so bad. It was so bad. But, Tyler, this is the most important stat line in the game for Deshaun Watson. Something you've been preaching about for the offseason is that he was second in rushing with 45 yards on 5 attempts for the Browns. And I literally have it right here.
Yeah, and he looked good when he was running too, man.
Tyler has been saying it for a few months. Watson is important because of his rushing attempts. So you can see him. He's going to vulture some touchdowns this season. What I saw is that Watson had a 14-yard touchdown run, and it was a design play. So this guy is not just getting design plays around, like, you know, the 1-5 yard line around the goal line. He's getting it from 10 yards out, a design play, and rushed it in. He looked pretty damn good. When you're running, or when your quarterback can get those rushing touchdowns, that right there with 45 yards and a touchdown, that's already 10 points. That's 10 points for him.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, weather played a big part in the incompletions. He'll have another chance to improve his completion percentage next week when he goes to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I would say that, you know, the weather was such a factor that Joe Burrow threw for 82 yards. And a lot of that was the Browns defense the Browns have an elite defense. But, dude, so, like, it's like how much, you know, I talk about looking at the stats and stuff. We have to look at both sides. Like, Joe Burrow is an amazing quarterback. We know this. So it's like how much of it was the weather going towards, because I was so excited about Amari Cooper this year. Like, I have Amari Cooper super high. And, you know, you could tell that he didn't go deep because Donovan Peoples-Jones is usually that deep target. He had two targets. I just said that like 3 different times. Elijah Moore, he's used like historically is, you know, that more like slot receiver, amazing. Like his rookie year was ridiculous. He's on the waiver show. He got 7 targets, the same as Amari Cooper. And so I'm really interested to see, like, I need to go back and watch. I haven't had time. I've been so busy. I want to watch the highlights of that game and to see how much the weather was, like how bad it really was. But I do think that Elijah Moore is worth a pickup. He was an off-season hype pickup, and now it's correlating in the regular season. And dude, Nick Chubb I thought that was huge, Jason, that he was caught 4 passes.
Yep.
Like
on 4 attempts.
And then I was like, is that the weather as well? You know, are they just are they doing dump offs?
That could be the case. But I've read in Browns magazine, I don't know if they really have that, but from Browns reports that they wanted to get Nick Chubb involved in the pass game because Kareem Hunt's no longer there.
Dude, well, that's my thing too, is that Kareem, like they barely even use, I know Jerome Ford got 15 for 36, but when I was checking the stats, it was like, he must have got all the garbage time, Jerome Ford, because it was all Nick Chubb. So I think that Nick Chubb, Jason, I know you traded it. I think that Bijan is still probably, like, seeing how they're going to use Bijan and they're going to beat up on their division probably a little bit. I still think it's probably even-ish, but dude, Nick Chubb is better than I thought. So, you know, that's why you drafted Nick Chubb, for this possibility, and it looks like that's working out for you.
I mean, we've said it before, Nick Chubb's the most underrated running back in fantasy football. If that trade did not go through with Bijan Robinson, I would have been okay with it. I was fine with Nick Chubb. I just wanted I had emotions. I have a lot invested emotionally to Bijan Robinson, and I think it would be fun to actually watch him play this year, and that's why I wanted him.
Well, Bijan, dude, is ridiculous. So, and if the fucking Falcons don't pass the ball to anybody but the running backs, and then they run the ball twice as much as they even throw the ball anyways, it's crazy, dude. I'm pretty sure that the running backs had a over 50% target share for the Falcons that day.
Yeah, I think Bijan led the way. Yeah, he led the way with the most receptions and targets.
But hopefully that was just the game plan or whatever. Arthur Smith said that he doesn't give a shit about us fantasy people, so.
Oh, I know, because I'm also, like, I watched that game, and I was like, Arthur Smith is a horrible play caller. I was like, what's going on with these plays coming out right now? Like, you need to throw the ball every now and then, dude. He didn't care.
Yeah. And then Jason on the fantasy, implications for the Bengals. Dude, Joe Burrow just came back. It was shitty weather. Just throw this game out. Just like the Kansas City Chiefs game, just throw it out. I'm not really putting too much into this. I think the thing that you can take out of this game is that Joe Mixon actually looked good. Like, shit. I was watching, I was like, who the fuck is that? Who's Joe Mixon, dude? He looked spry. Very spry. And I saw that they used Chris Evans like a decent amount in the very beginning, but then that was it. It was all Joe Mixon after that. So that's really all I have.
Yeah, you still got, don't worry about it. This is exactly what happened last year too, when Joe Burrow missed most of training camp. He came back in the first week against the Steelers and he threw 4 interceptions. And look, they gotta just take a while to gel. It's not how you start the season, it's how you finish. I think you'll be all right.
But yeah, everybody else, dude. If you want to trade for Jamar Chase, I would not trade for Joe Mixon. This is going to be his highest value for a while. Trade for T. Higgins is probably your best bet. There's going to be some freaked out T. Higgins owners. Hey, dude, that fucker on Matthew Berry's podcast, because Matthew Berry's those two guys that don't know anything.
Right.
Dude, remember I was like, one of them got Jamar Chase in the first round, and that same guy got T. Higgins in the second round, and that whole panel didn't say shit. And I was like, dude. And then you look at this. That fool got between those two, he got 6 receptions for 38 yards. Yeah, that's insane, dude. That's what pisses me off. At least, if you make a mistake, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
we're human, man. And we need your help, It's not just us. We asked for your help.
Oh, yeah. We need to be held accountable.
Right,
a cannibal. Are we going to the next one?
Like an island that eats people?
Yeah. Like Lecter or Hector. Oh, wait.
Hannibal Lecter.
Lecter, that's right. Shh, what do you think? Don't tell.
What do you think, Jason? What's your next one?
The next one, let's go to the Dolphins-Charger game. I want to talk about Tyreek Hill. Let's talk about this guy for 1 minute. I watched this game. What do you think Tyreek Hill's ADP was, Tyler?
5.
5, yeah, that sounds about right. He was
because I should have got him.
So he was projected 16 points in ESPN, and he ended with 40.5 points. He had 11 receptions on 215 yards and 2 touchdowns on 15 targets. And that's an amazing catch rate of 73%. And why it's amazing is because Tyreek Hill was open on every freaking play. And there was even one point where I was thinking all Hill does is slants and crossing. It's unfair to the defense. But no, his second touchdown was just straight to the post for 47 yards. He just ran straight. He just burnt them. When I watched this game, Tua always looked Hill first. He hiked the ball, he's looking at Hill. He's like, you good? You got double team, triple team? Okay, I'm going to go this way. Oh, you're single? I'm just going to wait 1 second. Bam. Open every time. So this goes to show if he can stay upright and healthy, dude, Tyreek Hill is a must start every single week. All right. Listen to this, Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is like AT&T, who used to have rollover minutes. Well, look, because it looks like Hill's usage and scoring will roll over from last year. Okay, and expect more big games like Sunday throughout the year because you can't defend his speed and athleticism.
I'm trying to understand what you just said. So he outscored his thing, and so that rolled over to the next year.
Yeah, like, do you remember his those AT&T like rollover minutes?
Yeah, I was just trying to like.
So I'm just saying, like, his usage and scoring is going to continue to roll over from last year. He's still going to be used a lot and score a lot of points. You know what?
That's good.
No,
Jason.
it's not, Tyler. No, it's not. I came up with this at like 10 o'clock last night.
Did
Tired.
you write that down?
I think I would. Yeah, I wrote it down. I think I was half asleep, and I was like typing. I was like, I think this could be funny. Hopefully, I don't have to explain it and ruin the joke.
For those you know, we'd spend 30 seconds to fucking explain.
Yeah.
it.
Well, anyway, he's going to be impossible to stop because you can't defend speed and athleticism. So,
Jason, what was the biggest deal about that accomplishment yesterday with Hill?
Was that he had what did I say earlier? That he had so many targets, and I think the next he like doubled the targets from the number 2 person too. He had 15. Yeah. I think the next one was their tight end. He had 7.
Yeah, and I do want to say that. So, anyways, the biggest accomplishment, Jason, this was all without Teron Armstead.
Oh, okay. I need lifelines here, dude. I need like help of where you're headed for that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, do you remember last year I was a 2 owner and Teron Armstead? There was a short that we made. Concussion for you, concussion for you, concussion for you. It's like, dude, Teron Armstead's not there. That team cannot function. On top of that, Jason, the Chargers, I don't know if you remember, they like shut down Miami at the end of last year. And so he took, dude, Mike McDaniels is an amazing offensive coordinator. He pivoted, did something different, and they just blew him up, man. Without Teron Armstead, and that one deep pass to Hill is just, that was just a lot for me, that they did so much without Teron Armstead. That is why I didn't have everybody super high, like Tua and all this. I was like, dude, Teron Armstead.
You're right.
So, anyways.
He did not play that game. You're right.
Yeah, and also, Jason, I did see Mike McDaniel said that Jalen Waddle was fine, but he was straining through pain in and out. So, like, the second half, pretty much. Like, he hurt himself somewhere in the first half, and he was straining through pain in the second half. So that's why you see he only has 5 targets. So if you're a Jalen Waddle and you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, that is why he did not blow up as well.
Like, where's my time to shine?
Yeah, so it is. I'm afraid to trade for a Jalen Waddle. When he's training or whatever. But if you want to take a swing and trying to get Jalen Waddle cheap, he might even do not that great next week because of an injury. And try to get Jalen Waddle, because now I'm all in on the Dolphins, seeing how they can function without Teron Armstead.
Yup. Just as long as Tua stays healthy and upright, man, dude. They look good. The passing game looked good. Tua was on point with his passing.
Yeah, and then, Jason, my start of the week, Raheem Mostert, I started him in my own league.
He got a touchdown.
He got me a touchdown, but, dude, he did not do nearly as well as I thought he was going to do. I thought they were just going to run the hell out of it against the Chargers, who were shitty at defending the run. But you know what, dude? The Chargers did a good job. As a team, they only averaged 3.5 yards per carry. So maybe the Chargers, I don't see how you could really go into wanting to defend the run against the Miami Dolphins, but still they did a good job. So I thought that was interesting. It gives me a little bit of apprehension on Raheem Mostert. I will still be starting him, especially since what's his name is on the IR for a little bit. So,
and David A-Chain didn't even play.
Yeah, I think A-Chain is might be really good in this offense because, dude, I thought Mostert would just do better. That was very disappointing for me.
Well, that touchdown that he scored, I thought I'm like, oh, they're just going to do this all day. They're going to do this all day because that drive looked really good,
off the bat, dude. And I was like, oh yeah,
here we go, rack them up.
Jason,
yeah,
Justin Herbert. You ended up drafting Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
I was very surprised that he did not just blow shit up, dude. I thought he was going to get 400 yards, 3 touchdowns this game. They held him in check, which is kind of surprising. They ended up, they found success on the ground, and I think they just stuck with it.
Exactly. What'd they get? 234 yards on the ground, Tyler.
They ran the ball 40 times relative to 33 passes. So, only 3 teams ran the ball more than they threw it last year. Look at the Chargers. They're on the pace right now to do that.
Yeah, it kind of looked out with him just because he had a rushing touchdown himself. He scored from the 1-yard line, so that boosted from 14 points to 20 in our league. So he actually outperformed his projection points by ESPN. 23 for 33, 225 yards. I mean, it's not bad. I want to see some more touchdowns. His touchdown he did look for his tight end down there in the touchdowns a couple of times. They just couldn't convert. And then, once you got Austin Eckler down in the goal line, it's hard to want to throw the ball.
Well, Jason, I think it's a new offense, and obviously the running game is already clicking. And eventually, I believe in Justin Herbert. I believe in all those weapons there. We talked about the Mike Williams injury, so that was, no big news. Quentin Johnson did get some playing time for a rookie wide receiver. He did better than, Jalen Hyatt and some of that stuff. So he is worth holding on to. Keenan Allen got 2 rushes, Jason. Did you see that?
I watched the game. I don't remember it, but apparently for 6 yards.
Don't rush Keenan Allen, please.
Please.
He did
Put some
lead the
ice packs
team,
on him.
dude. On his knees, man. Just walk around with those like you're an old basketball player. 9 targets to Keenan Allen that led the team. Austin Eckler still got his targets, Jason. So Joshua Kelly, I think, is going to be the tough runner, even though Austin Eckler is very capable of this. But, they want to keep Austin Eckler fresh. And this is like a Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott type of situation. Joshua Kelly, I think I probably should have had him higher on my waiver list. I'm going to go back and on my personal, me personally, I'm going to think about picking up Josh Kelly over Kyren Williams because I really like the Chargers offense. I know I'm really sold on the Chargers offense. I just need to see if the Rams was kind of fluky or not.
Yeah, really look into that, Tyler, because I think one of the reasons why that Joshua Kelly got enough rushes is because Austin Eckler kind of tweaked his ankle a little bit.
Well, that's great too. That's even more reason to pick him up.
But yeah, he came back in, but I know they had to take him out a few times and tape up his ankles, so they're probably trying to save him.
Well, I mean, if that happens the first game, I mean, and if they're going to run the ball so much, and they had success doing it, so
they look good.
I know. It's like they were number 5, so Kellen Moore was number 5 in the league in rushing attempts last year. This is a good start, Jason.
Yes, and the one thing I also do want to add is that their defense did not look good, which means the offense is going to have to play really, really well to stay in games, which means more opportunities to score.
More opportunities to score.
More opportunities.
So yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
Gerald Everett was a disappointment to me. I could have swore when I think of Kellen Moore's offenses, I think of tight ends. They do have Parham, Jason, and I can't remember if he was actually a tight end or not. He might be. I think he might be a tight end. Let me click on him because I say,
I think he is, right?
Yeah. So that is. Yeah, he is a tight end, dude, and he's the young guy. He's 26, so maybe they're just gonna eventually phase out Everett. So keep your eye on Parham. I know I've been hearing Parham's name for like 2 years at least.
He's the one that got the touchdown.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Parham should probably be on my waiver wire list. This is what happens when I'm doing my waiver wire list yesterday during the afternoon.
Right. It was still good, though. People go check it out. Check it out.
No, here, I'm going to write that down because this is what I'm going to do. I mean, I can amend it through comments. I'm going to put Joshua Kelly. I'm probably going to I'll say I'm going to add up Joshua Kelly plus more money. And then who was the tight end, Jason? Oh, Parham.
Parham, yeah. Junior.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Jason, what is it?
Cowboys at the Eagles. I want to talk about a little Saquon Barkley.
That was a terrible, terrible game.
Another game played in the rain.
Yeah, right.
It was. There were times where it was just trenched in rain and water. Give me some water.
I was pissed off because I wanted to see if Jalen Hyatt could do anything, but with that offensive line in the rain, there's no such thing as a deep target in that situation.
Dude, that's exactly where I'm going with this. So I wanted to look at Saquon Barkley just because, he's one of the top runners that likely went in the first round, early second round. He was projected 14.8 points in ESPN, and he finished with 7.5. He was 12 for 51, no touchdowns, over 4 yards a carry, but he also had 3 catches for 12 yards on 4 targets, which is great. Always watch a running back catching the ball. In the first 11 plays down by the Giants, Barkley touched the ball 5 times, and he had 4 rushes and 1 reception. So straight from the get-go, straight when that game started, you're seeing Barkley. And it's like, oh my God, did I pass up on Barkley? Was this a mistake? He looked explosive hitting the gaps, and he was breaking tackles. Then that drive ended up on a blocked field goal that was returned for a touchdown by the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys defense just took over the game. Everybody on the Giants became fantasy irrelevant. The Cowboys won the battle of the trenches. And this is why I ranked Barkley like 5th or 6th in running backs going into this season. And part of the reason Tyler has repeated this over the offseason is like how bad their offensive line is. Barkley is a talented running back, but he has a poor offensive line that will affect his fantasy play like it did last night. He's going to have tough games when he's going to have matchups against tough defensive lines. So this is something to expect for the rest of the year. But when there's going to be times where the defensive line isn't as great, you're going to get more productive out of him.
Yeah, dude. Well, so that's why I downgraded. I didn't have Saquon Barkley going dude. I forget what tier I had him in. I know I had him lower than most because the Giants have the worst schedule in the NFL. They had the easiest schedule in the NFL last year. And as far as pass rushing goes, dude, it was god awful for their schedule. So now they're going to be dealing with this for a while, dude. And this is just not what you want. And yeah, so if you don't give Daniel Jones a perfect situation, he's going to look like shit.
Yeah.
So that's just the way it is. And then, so Saquon Barkley, if you want to try to trade for him, you can. I mean, it's not going to be any worse than it was last night. I mean, this is his floor. But still, dude, it's not going to be great. It's not going to be racking up 20 plus points per game like he should be doing on a different team. So, yeah, if I had Barkley, I would just hold. No, I would try to trade him. Nah, I would hold until something happened and then trade him after a good game.
Yeah.
You got to look at their schedule.
He's going to have some good games. He is. There's just going to be games where also Daniel Jones is going to be running for his life and getting sacked every other play. They're not going to be able to do much on offense. It's going to be like that until they fix their offensive line. They sacked Daniel Jones 7 times yesterday. And it was just it's like they were playing around with that team. It didn't even look like Daniel Jones could do anything. And if he can't do nothing, the offensive line can't do nothing, Saquon Barkley ain't going to do nothing.
All right. And then Jason, as far as pass catchers go, Darren Waller was out there in and out. He looked good when he was on the field, but they couldn't do anything with it. Darren Waller in first half, 86% route involvement rate. That is really good. A 42% target share, 55% air yardage. So that's what you want out of your tight end. You just want your tight end to be the main focus of the team. If he stays healthy, I mean, he's going to be the main target of this team. So I could see him being he's going to be a top 5 tight end probably by the end of the year. It's going to be ugly the way he gets there.
I mean, he's just got to stay healthy. That's always been his issue. The talent has never been a question. It was always his health. And yeah, I think he was tied. Yeah, he was tied with Darius Slayton for the most targets. Especially when it comes to games like that, when you can't run the ball anymore, when you're down 35-0, that you're going to have to throw the ball. I can't believe, oh my God, what's that coach's name? Dayball had him in there as long as they did. Daniel Jones. I was like, oh my gosh, what do you do? Get him out of there.
He fumbled twice. I mean, just look at all the fumbles in this game. It was so nasty, dude. Everything was just terrible. Everything broke the Cowboys' way. This is one of those games where you just throw out. But I do want to say I am personally probably holding on to Jalen Hyatt for one more game. Maybe more. I don't know. I really like Jalen Hyatt. I need to have a game where it's just not a shit show to evaluate. And then Jason, Dak Prescott, dude, he didn't need to even score points. So how do you evaluate that,
Yeah, I don't know how you really evaluate that. He didn't have to do anything.
And yeah, his completion percentage is pretty shitty, but that Ferguson dropped a bunch of fucking balls, dude.
Oh my gosh, I know, dude. I know. Sorry, so frustrating. And you're just like the tide. I mean, he had a touchdown handed to him, Ferguson, and he just dropped it. And it's like, come on, you're a tight end. You're supposed to catch those. You ain't no Jason Witten. Pump.
Yeah, and did you hear the broadcast? Oh, you should hear Dak Prescott talk about what's his name, Jake Ferguson. He said he's in for a big year, so watch out for him. And then like it showed him as like drop, and it's like fuck, dude. Well, is he still? There's no other competition, so it's like I do think that Ferguson might be worth a pickup in this offense. I mean, he led the team in targets, dude. So that is big. And then Jason, you know who I'm going to drop?
Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, because you know who looked amazing was that Kevontae Turpin. I was all pumped up. I was like, oh, that's Deuce Vaughn. Look at that guy go.
Yeah.
Then I saw he had dreadlocks, and I was like, that's not Deuce Vaughn.
He's not a running back though.
He's a wide receiver, but he's like a gadget player, dude.
He is.
He looks crazy.
He's the guy from the XFL that they picked up. They're trying to get him. It's like he's one of those guys like you just want to put the balls in his hand, man. So that's why he's like the punt returner and stuff.
Dude, he puts the extreme in the XFL, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, how do you feel about
touch?
Yeah, but when you watch Deuce Vaughn, it's like he doesn't get any yards until that one time he does, and like in his role right now, it's just not going to work out for him.
Also, Tyler, he was set at the goal line. He was in on the goal line, and then they I can't remember if it was a penalty or a timeout was called, but he got in the goal line package. They couldn't use it, so I was like,
I mean, I really want Deuce Vaughn, but it's just like that Roudle guy looked good. They all look good, so I was just like, I don't know, dude. And Tony Pollard proved to me that his leg's okay. Like everybody was all talking like, oh, this is the best fucking running back ever, man. I was like, well, let's just wait until he broke his leg, right? Let's like wait. And he looked good. I thought he looked awesome. So Tony Pollard back on my radar, man, as far as a great running back.
Yeah, even though there was some tackles in there, I was like, watch out for his knees. Watch out for his knees.
Yeah, and Jason CeeDee Lamb, I mean, he looked good. I thought Brandon Cooks looked pretty damn good. I mean, relatively. But just not a lot to go off on this passing game.
Yeah, it was a defensive game, really. They're the ones that scored the points. Dak Prescott didn't have to do anything much, and I think that's their goal. It's because they don't want to have him to force anything, right, to make big plays.
Correct, Jason. We're 38 minutes in, Jason. Do you want more game?
Who are you thinking of?
Do you have something else?
No, I was like, I did my 3. So who else did you have?
The one I got to actually watch because my wife didn't make me clean was the Rams.
Oh, that's right.
Versus Seattle.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy game.
Did you get to watch any of that?
Yeah, I was watching it because I have freaking Cam Akers, dog. Thanks for rubbing it in.
So, when you watch Cam Akers run, what did you think?
I feel like his offensive line doesn't block for him when he runs.
They're like, fuck this guy.
I seriously, dude, I saw it. Like I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, after a quarter and a half, he's getting a chance right now. I was all run. And they gave him the ball, and he went to the right, and there was already a defender in the backfield. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. I was like, I told my wife, I'm like, they won't even block for him. They won't even block. And she's like, block who?
Well, they used him. Like, he actually, like, when I was watching, I felt like he did really well. And then you look at his yards per carry, only 3.5, but I felt like he was in a lot of short yardage situations. Well, so like he was only getting like 1 yard at a time because of the situation. So did you watch the game? You saw at the very end, like I think down to the 2 minutes or 3 minutes, they were just trying to run out the clock, not give the ball back to Seattle. So they were just in their run packages, and it's not a trick in Seattle. Put everybody up on the line just to try to stop the run from getting a first down. That did not help out his yards per carry at all. Right. So, like, my eyes told me that he did well. I'm looking at this, and I'm like, other than the 2 touchdowns, he didn't really do that great. But the big key here, Jason, is that the offensive line looks a hell of a lot better. Matthew Stafford didn't get sacked. I'm sorry, Tyler, were you talking about Williams or Akers right there? Oh, sorry. I'm talking about Kyron Williams the whole time.
Oh, he looked good. Sorry, yeah, he he looked
'Cause
good.
I was like, I thought he actually looked good. But then like I look at the stats and I was like, but then I remember like he was on a lot of short yardage. I mean, you see, he got 2 touchdowns. And
Yeah.
Cam Akers got a touchdown. I don't know. Like this was a weird game plan, but I think when it's close, I don't know. Kyron Williams just looked like the much better player. Kyron Williams also got the targets, whereas Cam Akers got 0 targets. But Cam Akers got 22 rushes, Jason, and a touchdown. You'd think that'd be amazing.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Like Cam Akers, his like last 6 rushes was just trying to run out the clock, and Seattle was like
Oh
stuffing the
yeah,
line. So that was like that's going to not help your yards per carry. But
right.
either way, Williams did look like the better runner, and I'm sitting here doubting myself and my life and my soul. Like, why did I draft Cam Akers when Williams is right here on our freaking waiver wire, killing it, getting all these carries?
Well, he was a deal last year. I remember I started him because I was in
Yeah.
running back hell. And I don't remember if he did that great. He got a lot of usage, but not that
No,
great. But
he did
dude,
not
watching
do
him now,
well.
I was like, this is not the same dude. He looks better, but this is also a better team. So better everything. So this is the time to strike on the Rams because they are not what people thought they were going to be. And hey, dude, they've got Sean McVay. They were like a top 5 team for like 3 years in a row. Then they had the shit last year. So maybe this is fixed-ish type of stuff, man. Maybe they're going to be good, and so we need to take a risk on that because there is a history there.
Yeah, they play San Francisco next week.
I'm not starting. That's my fucking problem, dude. Is I really want Puka Nakua because when I watched that game, I had Tutu Atwell was on my waiver wire list like 4 weeks in a row last year. He is that deep threat in this offense, and now that this is actually better, and I was saying this in the waiver wire show, Cooper Kupp, when he comes back, Tutu Atwell will have the same exact role. Now, the Puka guy, he looks amazing, dude. Watching that game, they couldn't stop him. Like it, literally felt like Cooper Kupp was out there, like a bigger Cooper Kupp. And I just love the name. He's like a 5th round pick out of BYU, and if you're picking wide receivers out of BYU, no wonder he went in the 5th round.
Yeah,
it's just like he probably was like a 2nd or 3rd round talent, but they're just like fucking BYU, dude.
Yeah, more like BYU who.
Unless you're like you don't get drafted out of there unless you're like I mean, Taysom Hill's from there, but I'm just thinking not a lot of wide receivers coming out of BYU, so that probably worked to his advantage.
Yeah, and one thing I also wanted to say is that, who else looked good? Matthew Stafford.
Well, that was dude. He was winging it, and he didn't even throw a touchdown, Jason. So, 334 yards in Seattle, right?
Yeah, in Seattle.
If I needed a quarterback, would I rather have Mac Jones or Matt Stafford on the waivers? I have Mac Jones on there because he scored 25 fantasy points.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, didn't Mac Jones throw the ball 51 times?
Yeah.
And Ramondre Stevenson didn't even play, right?
No, he played.
Stevenson
did he get hurt? Yeah.
I thought he was out. Every time I got glimpses, it was always, what's his name? Ezekiel Elliott. I always saw him.
Zeke got the majority of stuff, but I was just wondering if that was because he's one of the best pass blocking running backs in the NFL, and the Eagles' front is their strength,
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking that.
Well, I mean, if Mac Jones is going to throw the ball 50 times a game, I would definitely have Mac Jones instead.
Okay. Yeah, so I've got Mac Jones over him, but Matthew Stafford, keep your eye out on Matthew Stafford. Dude, Puka Nakua, he dropped. It was it was kind of like an acrobatic catch, touchdown. He could have had 150 yards and a touchdown. And watching it, none of it was fluky. It was he was open. It was all he was the first read. He is going to be amazing until Cooper Kupp comes back. And then if I was a Cooper Kupp owner, I'd be nervous, dude, because this guy looks fucking so good, man.
Yeah,
I got to watch that game, and I was like, dude, they have no answer for this guy. They can't. And the camera just kept on zooming in on him, zooming. It's like everybody knew it was going to him, and they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I think he's still going to have fantasy relevance even when Cooper Kupp comes back. But I'm thinking even when Cooper Kupp does come back, man, Matthew Stafford, if he's on the waiver wires around that time, You might
Pick
want
him
to
up.
plug that fool in.
He's going to be like this year's Jared Goff, just like a top 10 quarterback, just sitting on the waivers half the year.
Yeah. He went into Seattle and did what he did without Cooper Kupp. Man.
So I think I said I'd spend like 25 or 30 on I think it was 25 on Puka. How do you feel about how much would you spend on Puka, Jason?
I'm going to spend 33.
Yeah. See, when it comes down to it and I'm sitting on my toilet, I always spend way more in some random number. 36.
Yeah.
You know, just in case somebody goes 35. Some bullshit like that. So
I'm going to be down Deontay Johnson for next week and probably weeks after that. And Drake London, my flex.
Dude. I do want to address it. Drake London is my fantasy MVP. I still believe in Drake London. I need to see them against a fucking non-Carolina Panthers team, apparently. But it does piss me off that coach is literally an offensive coach that does not want to run his fucking offense.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It was like, I watched that game and I was like, dude, this is...
Nothing makes sense, dude. Nothing makes sense about
good job for anybody who has Tyler Algier, but I'm just like... And he like did a Dan Campbell and just kind of like easing Bijan Robinson into this thing. Like it is.
Well, I think Bijan. I really think that should be a 50-50.
Oh, it's going to be.
Because if you're going to run the ball fucking 50 times, it needs to be a goddamn 50-50 split.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, Ritter. I think Ritter got sacked quite a bit, like on passing plays. But
Ritter got the same amount of targets as goddamn Drake London, dude. But am I trading for Drake London? Yes. So if I can trade for Drake London, pennies on the dollar, I will do that. My problem is that, you know, I need with J.K. Dobbins going down, I've got Alvin Kamara coming back in week 4, but I need some running backs. So I'm looking at Kelly and Kyron Williams. I would love Piku or Puka, but I don't know if I can afford that right now. Jason, on Seattle's side, I do want to say Geno Smith, they caught him on tape. Oh my God. When Aaron Donald was about to hit him. That was pretty much his day, dude. Like, the offensive line, we talked about this. This was the one thing that was kind of scaring me about the Seattle Seahawks. They lost their veteran center. They had 2 good rookie tackles, but dude, the center is the most important part of that line. And it just showed, I mean, they fixed it last year. Let's see if they can fix it this year. Because, man, dude, the Rams were just fucking them up front.
Yeah, and another thing I want to add to that is that they drafted Zach Charbonnet, a pass-catching running back, because Kenneth Walker doesn't catch the ball, right? Dude, he had 5 targets, 4 receptions.
I was so happy.
Zach Charbonnet had none.
I was so happy about that, Jason. Kenneth Walker looked great. Like, given the ball, like, he didn't look like world-beating like he did last year, but at the same time, I was just happy that he looked healthy. So Kenneth Walker, if you drafted him, I think it's going to be a big smash for you. He's my running back number 1. And then Jason, DK Metcalf, he did catch that touchdown, but everything, like, I think that the biggest disappointment was Tyler Lockett. I saw him targeted early, and then it just fell off.
Well, a concussion, right? Wasn't he like kind of in and out?
Was that what happened, dude?
Yeah, he was there. He was just on the sideline. He had like head injury.
Okay, well that makes sense because I was like, dude, if I drafted Tyler Lockett, I'd be pissed off because you got him at a value, but maybe this is the end of Tyler Lockett. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba really didn't do much. He just caught some short passes, but like I said, that was a pretty much thorough domination defensively and offensively by the Rams, which is crazy. Remember last year that happened to them, Jason. Remember when the Bills just came in and just fucking
destroyed them? Yeah.
All right, so those are the games that we actually got to watch. Please like and subscribe. Maybe when we have like 10,000 subscribers or something, I might be able to afford some NFL pass or something like that. Let's see, Jason, what do you want to say? I'm going to throw out some random shit real fast. Packers quarterback Jordan Love in week 1 on 3rd down and 4th down. He was 8 for 10, 141 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. So Romeo Doubs, Jordan Love, the Packers start looking to invest in them. Jason, DJ Moore had 5.6 target share in his debut with the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, you'll like this. Tajay Spears outsnapped Derrick Henry 34-30.
Uh-huh. But who played better?
He only had 3 rushing attempts and 4 targets. But Derrick Henry is first time where he is, and they lost the game by 1 point. So it's like they were in the game the whole time and they still didn't run the shit out of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I think it's like a funky like game plan because I saw his stats were like stuck on the same number for like forever.
Jason, Dameon Pierce had a 48.6 snap share yesterday. That's his lowest snap share since week 1 of last year. So I was already afraid of Dameon Pierce coming into this because how shitty this team was. And when the team got super shitty last year, he couldn't do anything. But hey, I am encouraged by CJ Stroud and getting like 250 yards against the Bengals. Or not the Bengals, the Ravens.
That was just like a funky game to begin with, Who led in targets for the Texans?
Which one? On which one?
For the Texans.
Was it Nico Collins?
Yes.
So good job, Jason.
Yes, well, I mean, it's week 1. It's week 1. Like, it's
this
almost
is the crazy shit, dude. I know. This is not like, this is going to be our least accurate week because there's no data points and crazy shit's happening. So crazy shit's going to be happening for like 3 weeks. And then we're going to get into like week 4 and 5, and then we'll be able to start, projecting trends and shit. But we still have to like give our best educated guess.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, Christian Kirk appears. I heard this already in the preseason. Christian Kirk appears to be the wide receiver 3 in Jacksonville now, behind Calvin Ridley. I think that you should maybe target Zay Jones, Jason. Christian Kirk only played 60% of the snaps. Zay Jones is opposite of Ridley on 2 wide receiver sets. He's getting that, those deep routes and everything. And that touchdown that he got looked fucking awesome.
Yes, and it did. And it's starting to look like maybe the Jaguars paid the wrong wide receiver. Christian Kirk. They paid Christian Kirk.
Calvin Ridley. Well, Calvin Ridley looks so funny. I was like, this guy's going to get 200 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns this game.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
I was pissed off because I didn't have him. All right, guys. That is the show. Thank you so much for watching. Those were the games that we got to watch with our own eyeballs. So hopefully that, helps with whatever. Tell us what you think. Give us your, the best or worst thing about this weekend. What stood out to you fantasy player wise? What do you think is like just a flash in the pan, like that week 1, Kyle Ogletree 3 touchdown shit? But I do think that Puka guy is not a flash in the pan. Everything about that game was just not fluky. And then listening to professional football players talk about it on their interviews on sports radio today, sounds like he's a legit player, Jason. So this is a Fantasy Red Zone. Jason, would you please send us out?
Yes. We'll see you guys later this week. We got some play starter sit from both of us. Until then, deuces.